of the greatest peacetime spy dramas in the nation's history reaches its climax as Julius Rosenberg and Morton Sobell, convicted of revealing atomic secrets to the Russians, enter the federal building in New York to hear their doom. Another of the spy ring, Mrs. Ethel Rosenberg, who with her husband was convicted of actually transmitting the secrets to Russia through Soviet diplomatic channels. The ring was first uncovered following the arrest of Klaus Fuchs in England. David Greenglass, Mrs. Rosenberg's brother, confessed theft of the secrets while stationed at the Los Alamos atomic project. He later became the government's chief witness in the prosecution of Sobell and the Rosenbergs. It is a stern jurist they face in Judge Irving Kaufman. After administering a tongue lashing in which he charged them with the indirect death of thousands of men in Korea, he sentenced both Rosenbergs to death in the electric chair and Sobell to 30 years in prison. At the time these pictures were made, Greenglass still had to hear his fate. It is the first time in peacetime that such a death penalty has been handed down. And while appeals to the highest courts are planned, it certainly appears that the spies are headed along a one-way street. The Hotel Astoria in Paris is now official headquarters for General Dwight D. Eisenhower, commander of the Atlantic Treaty Forces. A guard is always on duty outside the door of the Allied commander's office. Here, the defense of the West is formally undertaken by the man already famous in Europe for his leadership in World War II. General Eisenhower's first official act in his permanent headquarters is a military formality, an order announcing his assumption of command. So his historic task of holding communism in check gains new momentum as General Ike issues General Order Number 1 with this formal announcement.
Today, another significant step was taken in this process of ensuring our collective security. This headquarters, formally and officially, assumed operational control and command of all forces allocated by our several countries to the defense of Europe.
The big town opens its heart to a visiting chief executive from France. 75,000 New Yorkers line lower Broadway as President Auriol drives up the Avenue of Heroes in the traditional parade for visiting celebrities. The city's warm welcome culminates at a flag-bedecked City Hall, where two Vincents meet. Vincent de Pelletier, Mayor, presents Vincent Auriol, President, with a distinguished service scroll, and in turn receives one of France's high awards, the Legion of Honor. Warmth and fellowship mark the ceremony for Monsieur Auriol, whose visit to this country should help confirm Franco-American solidarity against communist imperialism. The families of 4 soldiers who gave their lives in Korea received the Medal of Honor. Sergeant William Jocelyn threw himself on a grenade to save his platoon. Corporal Gordon Craig sacrificed his life in a similar fashion, while Corporal Mitchell Red Cloud stood off onrushing Reds, enabling his company to regroup in new defense positions. Private Joseph Ouellet braved enemy fire to help his trapped buddies escape. General Omar Bradley makes the posthumous awards for heroism above and beyond the call of duty. As part of their indoctrination course, Puerto Rican soldiers are taught English at Camp Tortuguero. The island citizens are making a further contribution to the cause of liberty and freedom. These men are preparing to take their places in the ranks of America's fighting men. For months, their comrades have been in the front lines in Korea. General MacArthur has praised the Puerto Rican 65th Regiment for its valor during the bitter Korean campaign. And in World War II, they also served heroically. Live ammunition whips across the trainees just 40 inches over their heads. Next on the agenda is beachhead defense. This is Puerto Rico's newest military unit, ready to serve the United Nations. Good news to fanciers of turtle steak and/or turtle soup are these hard-shelled critters just in from happy hunting grounds off the Florida Keys. They comprise one of the biggest and the mouth-wateringest hauls of the deep-sea denizens ever to hit the dock. Upside down and completely helpless, they're lugged unceremoniously off to the cannery. At this point, it's just as well a turtle only sticks his neck out once. Still unaware of their fate, they breathe easily as a junior skipper almost turns turtle trying to keep his balance on a reptilian perch. Seems he recognizes a friend. Well, he'll soon be in the soup himself. The big top gets a big send-off at Madison Square Garden. Mrs. Impellitteri, who took over the chairmanship of the New York Heart Association from the late Mrs. Louise Bair, heads the charity premiere. Lawrence Melchior strikes up the band, along with Jerome Cowan and the one and only Manasseh Mahler, Jack Dempsey. The benefit performance of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus brings out Emmett Kelly, the famous Joey who delights the hearts of all. And here come the elephants, schnozzolas in the air. Ask Jimmy, he knows. You can win with Win, who leads the barbershop quartet. And this brings out the gypsy in me. Celeste Holm lends her talents to the Broadway Hollywood galaxy with Dorothy Kilgallen. The receipts for the Bear Memorial Heart Fund total $190,000. Lily Pons is the Cats. Now we have the professor on the flying trapeze. He never misses. Well, for your benefit tonight, we'll let him chill you. Everybody had a circus.